All right, YouTube, what's going on? It's Muddy back with you. Hey, we're gonna talk about something today that might be a little, controversial to some people, but it's about duck calling, and it is about uh, whether or not you can call too much of a duck. All right, so here we go. So, and this is it. Like I always say, this is my opinion. Been hunting these ducks for a long time. A long time. 40 years at the most. I know it don't seem like it, but like I told you, I'm 52 years old and I was out there, a young buck with my grandpa. I may not pull the trigger at the time, but I was out there. So for 40 years, I've been out in them duck woods every year. Maybe in time too when I was sick, when I was younger, or something like that, or grandpa just didn't go and I just didn't get out there. But for the most part, 40 years or more, I've been after these ducks. And one thing I'll say is a duck is a duck is a duck is a duck. And as a hunter, what we're trying to do when we use these duck calls is we're trying to sound like a mallard hen. Okay? We ain't sound like a drake. Drake don't, these duck calls don't sound like drakes. These duck calls here don't sound like any other duck but a mallard hen. Puddle duck, mallard hen. Okay? So we do this, we get out there and we start, practicing on duck calls, and we learn how to make a good hen quack, okay? And then after we learn how to make that good hen quack, what's the next thing people want to do? Feed call, all right? So they learn how to do a good feed call and shit. At that point, once they got that mallard hen, that feed call, they say, I'm ready to hunt. And they go out there, throw out decoys, and figure to kill the hell out of these ducks. Some days they get lucky, they call them in and they shoot them, and then some days they don't, and they wonder what's going on. They see them, but they don't get them in, they wonder what's going on. So then, what do they say? Well, maybe the call shot, maybe we're calling too much. So tomorrow when we come out, or next time we come out, we won't call as much. So they go out there again and they see the ducks, but they're a little timid now because of what they've heard. You know, someone say on YouTube, or friends just heard something, or a TV show. They say you call too much, so they get out there and then see the flock of birds come through again, and what happens? They don't want to call, and guess what happens after that? Bird passes them up. Okay, they don't even come in. So now they wonder what's going on. So then they get another group or so come in and they get hammering on that call this time. Now, because you sat out and you didn't call, next time you feel like you just need to hammer down, sound like a boss hen. All right, you hammer down, and guess what you do? You blow the ducks out. You blow the ducks out the hole. You blow them away from the water. They bank off and they take off. All right. Now your mind is boggling. You wonder what the hell is going on, and tell somebody about it. Say they're call shy. All right. Well, let me tell you something. Call shy and calling too much. Hey, that came from our vocabulary. All right, birds don't know nothing about being call shy, and they don't know nothing about some ducks calling too much. You think I'm lying? If that's the case, every refuge in Arkansas will be empty. All right, when you go to them refuges and you listen to them birds, man, they are making noise up in there. Not one of them is saying, "Oh, let's calm down a little bit because we might flare them out of here, or we may make a call shot." They just do what they do. A duck is a duck is a duck is a duck. Okay, that's what they do. They call, they quack. All right. Now, back to being call shy. If if uh, if there was such thing as call shy, then everyone south of the Mason-Dixon, we don't need to buy duck calls. We don't even need to buy duck calls. You know why? Because all them boys up north, in the Pacific Flyway, the Central Flyway, uh, they have shot them damn birds and called at them damn birds so much. By the time they do make it here, trust me, if they made it here, they seen it all before they got here. You heard it being said. They've seen the Mojo spinner wings. They've seen all the J-hook layouts of decoys in the water. They've seen the blinds. They've seen the new Sicker Gear camo. They've seen, they've heard the new shot shells that's out there. They've experienced it. They've made it to us in the South. They've gone through it. Okay? So if there was such thing as call shy, then we don't need to buy duck calls. We're wasting our money there. $160 per duck call, you can save that. Can't buy yourself a new shotgun if that's the case. It's not such thing. What is it then? What is it, Muddy? If you're saying all this, what is it? Okay, let me get down to that then. Simply put, when it comes to calling, all right, you need to get a lot of different transitional calls in your arsenal. You need to learn more. Once you learn that quack, which is the fundamental of them all, okay? If you don't know the quack, you can't do anything else. Once you learn the quack, you need to learn the cadences. You need to learn different ways of presenting that call, that quack to ducks. You need to learn when to use a feed call. I mean, for example, you hunt open water, and a lot of guys hunt open water on these lakes. Trust me, it's open water. It may not seem as big, but you're still in open water. Not like sea, but you're still in open water. So you're out there now, you're doing feed calls. There ain't no food out there. That's a loafing space. That's just where the ducks come to land, rest, and then they take off, and go back to feeding. They came from feeding. This is where they're resting now. So you're out there doing feed calls. They don't want to hear that. They just left the refuge, or they left the what do they call it when where there's hunting places in public land. You can't shoot ducks and things like that. A refuge. So they just left all these places, right? And they're coming now, and they come by big water, and they're wanting to loaf. They just want to swim around, rest up a little bit, preen a little bit, and all that stuff. But you're doing feed calls. They don't want to hear that, and they keep going. Okay? So you got, it's a timing. You got to know when to use these calls. You got to sounds what you call, and you don't ever go to the woods without a duck call. And when you go to the woods with a duck call, you don't ever not use it. Okay, that is essential right there when it comes to duck hunting. Always has, always will be. As a matter of fact, because of these, duck hunting today is what it is. It's not a shotgun out there. It's not an ammo, 12 gauge or 20 gauge ammo shell. It's not a camo pattern. No, Sitka did not put duck hunting on the map. Duck calls put duck hunting on the map. People love these, okay? And that is the reason why duck hunting is on the map today, because people want to learn how to use that, get out there and see if they can bring a bird in. It's magical, okay? So take that with you and you use it, but you got to learn how and when to present these sounds to the ducks, all right? When do we do that? We do that in the off season. So many guys ride around with the trucks, with their duck calls hanging from the mirror on the truck and stuff, and they may use it once or twice. Right now, this is October, end of October, 2023. I don't know when you'll see this video, but this year right here, this day, is the 24th of October, 2023. So right now, I'm sure there's a lot of guys going to the store buying duck calls. You probably can't find one on the shelf right now, or if you do, they the one you want. They're blowing duck calls around the house, getting on the wife's nerves, getting on the kids' nerves, getting on the neighbor's nerves, roommates' nerves, etc., etc. Right now they're doing it. Well, you should have did that before now, but doing it now, that's fine too. What I'm saying is, in order to be good at something, like the great athletes say, I played baseball, great athletes say, in order to be the pro at something, you got to do it 8 hours a day, at least for 10 years straight. 8 hours a day, at least for 10 years straight. And then you consider yourself a pro. All right? So just because you call you practice a couple weeks before season, you call them birds in and you kill them, that'll mean you're pro. Because they're going to give you hell later on in the season, which brings me to this. Call shot. Now, you always hear guys say later in the season, birds are call shot. Let's go back to what I just said. If there was a such thing as call shot, by the time they make it south of the Mason-Dixon, we shouldn't even have duck calls because there's no use. Because guess what? By now they're call shot. It's not a certain time of the year when they're call shot. It's not a certain time because there's no such thing. What is it, Muddy? Here we go. I have been privileged to be taught by Rick Dunn with Echo Calls. Jonathan up there at Echo Calls has taught me a lot of stuff in the past. David at Echo Calls has taught me a lot of stuff. I've even had a couple times where I worked with Butch Richenbach before he passed away. As a matter of fact, right here, I have a old R&T call that is made personally by Butch. This is an old one. I'm gonna tell you something. I got this one he actually made and I purchased from him. And then I have another older R&T. These are MVPs as well. I have another older one right here. And this was cut by Butch, but this wasn't specifically for me, but he cut them. And I bought this one and I bought that one. Well, I got that one first and then I bought this one. And these, man, I got these back in the day. I'll show you something. I keep this here all the time. This is a 30th anniversary R&T book. When I went to that shop, I got this at the time. Now I believe they're in their 40th anniversary. But this book right here, it's got all of the old calls, man. Here's one that everybody is wanting. I'm kind of getting off the subject, but I just wanted to show you this right here. Here's one that everybody's wanting right there, that timbre. That was a good call. It still is a good call. It really is. I wish they still made this. I wish they still made this call right here. This right here, that call, that's when Christian Curtis was with him back in the day. I don't know where old Christian Curtis is, but that boy there is a good duck caller. You hear me? He's a good duck caller. Anyway, guys, here we go. So I've had the privilege to work with these men firsthand. Another good duck caller that I've had the privilege to be taught some things by firsthand, Buck Gardner. A lot of people don't give Buck Gardner respect, but Buck Gardner has been in the game for a long time, and that man is full of knowledge. And another guy, I'll show you one more. I got a bunch of calls by a lot of old guys. I got big, what was Mike? The big guy's best. This is some of my older calls here. The ones I hunt with, I keep them in my gun safe. But this right here is another old call. This is by Betts, Wayne Betts, out of Rogers, Arkansas. And Wayne ended up passing away, man. We lost a lot of good duck call makers, man. I mean, I could go down the list of all these good duck call makers that we've all lost, and some good duck callers too. Not just duck call makers, but good duck callers. We've lost a lot of people, man. But one thing that I'm proud of is that I was able to meet these guys, get calls made by these guys, and I don't blow any of these calls anymore. Tim Grounds, another good duck call maker, and goose call maker. Well, actually, good goose call maker. Tim Grounds, he passed away. So we got a lot of good call makers that have passed away. But let me tell you this: they will say, or they have said, birds a call shot. Okay, and no disrespect. Because once again, this is my opinion, so They all can say that or have said that, and that's an assumption. That's what they felt like, and that is what it is. But what I tell you is this: I don't believe in call shot. What I believe in is this: that there is a timing. There's a timing when you should uh, call, and there's a certain way that you need to call. Okay. Should it be aggressive? Should it be light? Should it be consistent? Consistent quacks, not the alarming consistent quack, but just consistent quacks. Um, uh, should it sound like a refuge that you're in, or a feeding area that you're in, or should it just sound like a loafing place? We have a swamp on the property that my family owns, and I'll be deer hunting, and sometimes I hear just one hen back there, just about an hour go by, I hear it again. That's all she does. But one day I said, I'm gonna go back here and see if it's just one hen, because I never hear more than one. Man, I get back there and the place is loaded. It was loaded with ducks. So that led me to believe that yes, we can call too much, okay, in a sense. Like I told you, she was just quacking here and quacking there. But I believe that every time she quacked, okay, there was something that she saw and she was calling them in, and they came in. So I didn't get a chance to see that, but that's what I believe, because there was just too many ducks back there with that one hen quacking. So when we see flocks of birds and we assume that this is a call shot situation, I think that we need to just hit that good quack. Like I say, that's the fundamental of duck hunting, or a duck call is a quack. Hit a good quack, get off of them. Okay? They're not call shot, but we can call too much. You know what I mean? So just give them a good quack. All right? Don't worry about the comeback call on that day that you feel like the call shot. That's too much. It's too much. All right? Just let them work. Just let them work. But let them know where you are. Make them hunt you. They'll start hunting you, because that's what they want to do. They want to come in. Make them hunt you that day. All right? Don't you hunt them, make them hunt you. And then all of a sudden you'll see them falling in the trees, or coming into your spread in open water. All right? So, I mean, I guess that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Call shy, I don't believe, and I think it's a timing thing. I think it's we need to know as professional duck hunters. We need to know as duck hunters, if you're not considered professional duck hunter, when to call, and what call sound to use. All right. So, you can't go out there every day and just, hammer down. You take 10 buddies with you, everybody can't call. You just got to say today, such and such gonna call, or such and such gonna call. Everybody can't call. All right. But then there's some days where you need everybody hammered down on. You need everybody talking to them. All right. So you'll know those days. But you have to start out with a sacrificial duck or sacrificial flock of ducks. You never know what that day is until you see how them ducks react. All right. So you all get out there and you all start blowing and they flare away, or they just don't come, something like that. Cut it in half. If they start to work with half of you guys, but they just don't commit, cut that in half to 2. All right. And then next thing you know, you got birds in there, you kill them. So that's my advice. Take it how you want it. Leave me some comments. Don't hurt my feelings at all, because the way I feel about it, I'll never change that thought. But I'd like to hear what you think about it as well. So get out there this year, you guys be safe. Get yourself some ducks. I'm going bow hunting this weekend. I try to get them deer before ducks because man, I cannot stand sitting in that stand and hearing gunshots at a distance, and it just makes me want to get out because you know how it is with patience with deer hunting. Nah, I ain't got it too much. Not especially during duck season, but before the ducks come, I'm very patient with deer. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate your support on this channel. Let your friends know. Send the likes out if you like to. Thumbs down if you want to. That's fine. That's very fine. But anyway, tune in for the next video. Talk to y'all later.